the Lagos State Government Ministry of Transportation, marking the start of the significant contributions to the public sector. In 1999, her career took a pivotal turn when she was deployed to the Ministry of the Environment, where she delved into environmental engineering, serving in the drainage department and later leading one of the waste monitoring teams in Lagos. Her role expanded to overseeing the rehabilitation and construction of dump site, showcasing her capability in managing large-scale environmental projects. Her tenure at the Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, as head of projects earned her numerous accolades, including the Lagos State Order of Merit Award in 2012, Best Management Staff in 2011, and the APWEN Emerging Leader Award in 2010. In August 2019, Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu appointed her as a general manager in one of the agencies in Lagos, where she administered building control across Lagos. Her leadership qualities led her appointment as the permanent secretary in the same ministry. By November 2022, she transitioned to the Local Government Service Commission as a permanent secretary. Also in April 2023, she was deployed to Lagos State Office of Political, Legislative and Civic Engagement as the permanent secretary till July 2024. And finally, she is the permanent secretary in a ministry still here in Lagos State. My guest career as an engineer has spanned a little bit over 3 decades. She is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSC, and a certified practicing engineer by the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. My guest is also the Assistant Secretary, General Secretary, and Vice Chairman of the NSC Ikeja branch and holding key position in the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers, NIEE, and of course, she is the charter president of the Rotary Club of Ikeja, Alausa Golden. You want to know who my guest is on the show tonight? Stick around, I will be right back.
Driving is more than just mechanics. It is about the freedom to express oneself. The driver's seat may seem insignificant, but it holds the power to redefine history. Our new program called Women on Wheels, WOW, is focused on every aspect of transportation with women at the wheels. WOW seeks to inspire and motivate you on responsible driving, inform you on the regulations and etiquette in all transportation sectors, educate and expose you to the business side of the wheels industry, and also share the history of wheels with you, our dear listener. Wow! 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 Live on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. with Baruwa Taiwo.
This show is proudly powered by Toyota Nigeria Limited.
Stay tuned.
Brilliant students, on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM class today, we will continue on road markings. Who can remind me the first 3 road markings? Anthony.
Zebra crossing, broken white lines, and the straight white lines.
Let's applaud him. Good. So we shall continue today. Number 4, the yellow box. What did I say?
The yellow box.
The yellow box is called the junction box and is mostly found at the T junction to control traffic flows and to avoid gridlocks. When you see these boxes, you must not enter until your exit road and lane is cleared. Do we understand?
Yes.
Number 5, double yellow lines beside the road. What do I call it?
Double yellow lines beside the road.
The double yellow lines beside the road indicates that you cannot park there. What I say?
You cannot park there.
Again?
You cannot park there.
So whenever you see the double yellow lines beside the road, never park at that point. Is that okay?
Yes.
So what are the road markings for today's class? Number 4.
The yellow box.
And number 5.
Double yellow line beside the road.
Do we all understand?
Yes.
That's great. See you again in our next class. Catch you later.
Bye, Mr. Safety.
This message is from Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM.
Lagos, Nigeria. You're still tuned to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The program is Women on Wheels. I did say earlier that my guest was on her way, and of course, thankfully, she is here now. Yes, I already reeled out a profile, and let me just go straight down to business now. My guest is none other than Engineer Abiola Kosegbe. She is the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. Your guess is as good as mine. Apparently, if you have been listening all through to the program, very good evening to you, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's so good to have you.
Yes, thank you.
Let's get down to business. Basically, who is Abiola Kosegbe in the energy and mineral resources sector?
Well, Abiola Kosegbe. Currently, I'm the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. A post that I started or I held from July of 2024.
Good.
That's who I am currently.
Okay, so
if you specifically mention the energy and mineral resources,
and mineral
right?
resources. So how did it start for you as an engineer? Because I see that you have been, going through your profile. Everything about you is within the engineering sector. How did this journey start for you as a woman?
Well, the journey of engineering, it's actually a very funny journey. In those days, our parents, they wanted to be doctors, engineers, lawyers. And so I traveled to the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Actually, I was meant to study medicine.
Okay.
So I got there, and along the line, I changed my mind. My father was a prolific electrical engineer.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I decided not to study medicine, I just can't stand the sight of blood.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I if someone is ill or seriously ill, I can't cope. So I thought to myself, what kind of doctor do I want to be? Medicine. I just called home and I said, hey, guys, sorry, but I've changed course and I've enrolled for civil engineering. And so that is actually how I got into it. It's really a funny story.
Okay.
At the time, at 17, I had a friend.
Yes.
And he had actually gone to one of the technical colleges.
Okay.
And he came back to me and said, oh, by the way, I registered for civil. I said, oh, what's civil engineering? What's it about? And he brought back the list. I said, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll just call home and tell them I've changed. And so that's how I came into engineering, just by coincidence.
Let's talk about being a woman in the midst of men. It's a male-dominated kind of career. Yeah. How has it been for you relating with the male counterpart?
I'll tell you something. Before I left Nigeria, I one of my electives or one of the subjects I picked was technical drawing.
Okay.
And I was the only female in the class, right? So I was already used to being in a male-dominated environment. In university, in the whole of the engineering department, and I'm talking about mechanical, electrical, you named aeronautical, there were just 4 of us female engineers at that time. So it's something that I'm used to. I have no problem whatsoever. Men are actually easier to get on with anyway, right? And when you're amongst them, they treat you just like one of the lads, right? Having graduated from uni, one of my jobs, I was working with Taylor Woodrow, and in the UK construction sites are a bit different from here. As you're going up in levels, you have scaffold. You make sure you wrap your building with scaffolding and all that. And I used to have a Ghanaian, supervisor, so to speak. And even in the cold, he would just say to me, "Abby, meet me on the 5th floor." And meet me on that 5th floor. I have the theodolite on one arm, the tripod on the other arm, and I have to climb the scaffolding all the way to the 5th floor. And then he would just behave as if he didn't really care. He would be like, "Well, nobody asked you to study engineering. That's your problem." So really and truly, you had to develop it. As a female in this sector, you really have to work extra hard. You can't say you're a woman. Nobody cares.
So absolutely, it has to be the watchword for a woman in the engineering world is being daring. Now, it's one thing to be an engineer in the midst of men. It's one thing to be in the midst of boys in a classroom, in the 4 walls of a classroom. It's another thing to be a woman at the helm of affairs. Tell me what your experience has been like.
Well, the funny thing in Lagos State, for example, the administration has been very good to women.
Absolutely.
And, the fact that there's more awareness about women at the helm of affairs.
Sure.
In this particular administration of Mr. Babajide Olusola, I believe that if women are not 50% of permanent secretaries, it should be close to that, right?
Wow.
So we're not an endangered species, so to speak. We put in our quota, and I believe personally that women actually have more to contribute. Women multitask, right? I say one funny thing I say is that, right? My colleague is a male. He gets home. His wife is going to prepare his meal.
Sure.
He'll just put his feet up.
Absolutely.
We still have to get home. We have to prepare the meal. We have to look after the kids.
Definitely.
We have to do this. We have to do that. So we're used to multitasking, right? So to me, it's you just have to work that extra hard. You have to give in that more to what you do.
So basically, the clamor for gender balance in the scheme of things, has continued to gain momentum. And of course, in Lagos here, you just painted a scenario. But then how does this translate to a regular woman on the street, the girl child on the street, having confidence in herself that, look, my voice can be heard. I have equal right as that boy, and I can be whatever I want to be, regardless of my gender.
Right. Aside from being a government official, there are several organizations that are into, gender inclusiveness and ensuring that young girls know that they have mentors up there. For example, APWEN, which is the Association of Professional Women Engineers, of which I am a member, they really, really concentrate on the girl child, and they put in that much effort. And there's so many organizations like that try to nurture the girls, to bring them into the STEM, So it's something that is focused upon. And Lagos State is actually doing quite a lot.
Absolutely.
So I feel that we're moving in the right direction, in terms of, if you look at the sector, not just the sector, if you look at the way Lagos State is, I'll focus mainly on Lagos State. You will see that the idea of gender inclusiveness is really something that we don't even think about it because it's there. It's been done. You know, the system recognizes both male and female as the same. You understand? So there is really no issue when we talk about gender inclusiveness.
Let me take you on something you mentioned earlier in terms of dealing with men. In dealing with women, there is this myth about women being difficult to deal with. As a matter of fact, you have a female boss and she is the one firing you with a query because you came late to work, because you had to take your child to the hospital and all of that. Tell me, do you think women are difficult at the Home of Affairs?
So, you know, this is a very, very interesting question. And the reason it's interesting is because I've had several male bosses, right? Before I got to where I am, I had male bosses. And I'll tell you, there used to be a particular boss of mine, right? He would just come into my office. Kosegbe, what are you doing? Get this job done. You understand?
Absolutely.
And personally, I didn't take it I didn't take it as, because you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I now, psychologically, I used to sit down and think about it. And I say to myself, if that boss were a woman and talking to another woman like that, then they will say, she's being mean to another female, blah, 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 you understand? You understand what I'm trying to say? So, personally, I believe that women, they don't help the women at the top because they paint pictures that really don't make sense, right? If I have a job and I need to get my job done, I need to really almost be like a slave driver, right? Because I have targets, I have goals to meet, right? So if I were to say, what's going on? My job is not being done, and it's kind of like I'm under pressure. I need to submit this. And I'm talking to a woman, and then she's like, oh, because she's a woman, that's why she's talking to me. Or I'm a man and I'm talking to a woman. Nobody bats an eyelid. You understand? So we really, as women, need to understand that just as a man at the top has pressure, so does a woman. And give that little leeway to understand that a woman under pressure may even be more stressed than a man, and give that level of support that a woman needs. Another thing that I would say is that when I have been asked to speak about mentorship,
yes,
right, and we're saying mentor the younger officers, mentor the ladies. Mentorship is both ways. As you mentor the younger officers should also not try to step on you to get over you, right? To go and badmouth you so that they can paint you in a black way and say, oh, this person is horrible, blah, 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 instead of supporting the lady. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So to me, we need to support each other regardless of how it is. There's not so many of us there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not so many. Let's support so that some of us can also come up.
Okay, so it appears that you've really had it, good. Are there challenging times you ever experienced at any level whatsoever?
It appears like I've had it good. But that is the appearance.
Yes.
Right? But really and truly, that is not the case. There's no one that will get to a position that I'm in that wouldn't have gone through so many things, right, to get here. And even where you are, you really have to apply sometimes wisdom, you have to apply maturity, you have to have emotional intelligence to actually be able to handle some of the things that, the workplace throws at you. You understand? So it is not as rosy, but it is not, we thank God, something that we cannot handle. I can't, I've had several experiences, and I can laugh about such experiences now, right? But maybe at the time that it was happening to me, I could have been in tears. I've been in tears before, of course. I've been in a position where my boss has shouted at me and I've been in tears, crying, several times. But, I dust myself up and I move on.
You chin up.
Yes.
All right, then. Let's, before I let you go, because we're running out of time on the show already, what would you like to see the women folk achieve? How would you like them to actually grow in this part of the world? This is Africa. It is a developing world. It is a patriarchal society. What would you like to see the women achieve in this part of the world? In a minute.
In a minute, I would say that women are actually doing very well. There are lots of societies that promote the cause of women. So if you look at the trend of things that are going on now, we're saying we cancel DEI or whatever and all this kind of stuff, right? So we're doing fine. We just need to step up on what we're doing, where we have a lot of ladies that are now at the top of their profession. We have a lot of ladies. If you look at even the Nigerian Society of Engineers,
yes,
we have the first female president in God knows how many years since the setting up of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, probably about 65 years ago. We have the first female engineer who is now our president. So we're getting there and we're doing it. Women are doing things for themselves, and really,
I've had a couple of guests on this show who tell me, if you really need to go far as a woman, you need your husband's support. What would you like to see the male folk do to support the women so we can actually achieve this gender balance drive?
Well, I'll tell you that you said some people have said that their men folk have supported them. If they don't support them, really and truly, they really can't. I don't see how they can make it, because the home front, there's so much to do, and the children, the everything. So it's important that the support is there. But most importantly, we ourselves, we need to drive. You need to have the drive. If you are in a workplace where that is male dominated, and you can't be there and present, say it's time for a meeting, and you are constantly always looking at your time, you need to go here, you need to go there, you are really not going to get very far. Right.
Before I let you go on the show, in 30 seconds, what will be your pattern shot to girls, to women out there in Lagos and in Nigeria?
My parting shot is, you can do it, right? You can do it. That's what I'll say.
You can do it. The words of Dr. Abiola Kosegbe, the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. She has been guesting with me on the show tonight, and we have talked about a whole lot. You can actually look out for this interview on our YouTube page. This is where we wrap things up on the show tonight. I must say a very big thank you for you coming down all the way, despite the nature of your work. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, this program has been brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited, the sole distributor of the automobile brand in Nigeria. And of course, it has been produced by Ajose Uluwale Iduwadeyemi and the Fumiladi Akingbagbo. Many thanks to Oluremi Aluko, the social media manager for tonight. Maximum thanks to Victor Oteri. Our executive producer is Taiwo Akonle. I remain Taiwo Baruwa. The program makes a return next week, Tuesday at 7:30. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening, Lagos.